Welcome back. Thandi Ntuli is a pianist, composer, vocalist and producer, and she has a jazz purist simultaneously feeding from the palm of her hand. The jazz artist picked up momentum very quickly that at some point in time she was deemed as the new wave in modern South African jazz. Her second album, Exiled, promised to be an experimental undertaking and went on to prove just that. Well, this past week, she pulled out all the stops at the Standard Bank Jazz Evening, where her sounds were accompanied by the work of Simphiwe Mlangeni. We welcome her here on the show. Morning.
Morning. How are you?
Great to see you again.
Nice to be back.
Tell us about the Standard Bank Jazz Evening, how it went, just from the turnout to
the general vibe.
Yeah.
It was great. I mean, it was, the exhibition was for the Search for Ubuntu exhibition at the Standard Bank Gallery. And we did something quite different. So I was performing with a guitarist, just a duet, Keenan Arends. And at the same time, Simphiwe Mlangeni was actually making a drawing, which was really cool.
And what was your reaction when you saw what he had interpreted, just in terms of his art form?
It was interesting. I mean, no one's ever done that before, so I've seen it being done for other people's work. So I was very curious to see what was going to come out.
Wow, and it was quite a special evening. I can imagine, a highlight in your career.
Absolutely. I mean, there was a great turnout of people as well. Different people, young, old, you know, which is always nice. It brings a great energy to the performance.
Talk about your album. What are some of the themes that you would say you've explored a lot in your album? Obviously, it's, you know, an album is a body of work, so
sure.
You may not have stuck to one theme necessarily, but talk to us about just some of the themes that you explored.
So on the album Exiled, I think I was reflecting on how personal relationships are very actually similar to what happens in the world, and I was touching and exploring on the experience of living in post-apartheid South Africa. I was exploring topics as well of you know, last year after Karabo Mokwena's passing, there was a wave of the hashtag Men Are Trash, and just like a lot of the social issues that exist post the oppressive past that we have, and just trying to explore those kind of things in my music.
You've worked with other artists as well. I mean, you worked on Electric Artist, Jazz World, QB Smith, and Sir LSG albums.
Yes.
How did that help in sort of helping you carve a path for yourself, or in branding yourself, or just finding a different way of looking and interpreting music?
Well, the first thing with collaborating, the thing that it teaches me most is how to work with someone else's artistic ideas and to give space to both. With Sir LSG's album in particular, because I was co-producing, I had to take a bit of a back seat in terms of I'm always the one who's like, yes, this is the final thing, I'm going to do it this way. So that was interesting, but it was also amazing to see how my voice did come through in the work, but also it wasn't just like my ideas that came through at the end. So
there's room for everyone.
Yes, there's room for everyone. Yes,
wow.
Yes.
That is quite incredible. I want to talk about the rebirth of Cool. I mean, it's that gang with DJ Kenzero, Tam Music, Pelele, Benjamin Jafta, Senzo Ngobo, Stepengu, Lindas Kakan, who's absolutely one of my favorite young artists.
Awesome.
It's quite a bit of an unusual collaboration there. So many different styles of music. How does it all mesh up?
It's, I mean, if you think about the ideas behind playing jazz, it's improvised music. So what we bring, because we're mainly presenting hip-hop, but we're presenting it in a way that we would present jazz. And the reason we are playing hip-hop is, as you know, DJ Kenzera is very well known in the hip-hop circles. And he was amazed at how jazz and hip-hop, being such close relatives in terms of genres and like the influences, it's amazing that the two audiences never meet. Like the jazz people are hardly ever going to hip-hop shows and vice versa. So I think with Rebirth of Cool, what we're doing is bringing those two audiences together.
Oh, Thandi Ntuli, you are such an exceptional artist.
Thank you.
I can't wait to see what's next. Very excited about your career.
Thanks so much.
Thank you once again for making the time to come
Thanks
through.
for having
Truly
me.
Appreciate it. As the 2018 Standard Bank Young Artist for Jazz, Thandi Ntuli, sharing more on her new album titled Exiled, which she includes aspects of different genres, including spoken word, electronic, and world music. Time for us to take a break. Do stay with us.